If you want to publish a book, but you feel stuck, out of time, and you don't know what to do next, then it's time to finish the damn book. Here's your host, Susie Schaefer.
Welcome to this episode of Finish the Damn Book. I'm your host, Susie Schaefer. My guest today is Karen Wickerson, who has been an animal telepath, communicator, and psychic since she was 3 years old, and is a Healing Touch for Animals certified practitioner. Listen to Your Animals, They Know More Than You Think is her first book, which has already achieved much critical acclaim, including #1 international bestseller status in numerous categories, first place award in the nonfiction category of the San Francisco Book Festival, and runner-up for the nonfiction category of the New York Book Festival. Before professionally working with animals, she was a registered clinical family counselor and holds a Master of Arts degree in applied behavioral science. She hung up her counselor's hat to devote her life to giving animals a voice and making a difference in their lives and in the lives of their humans. She currently lives and plays in North Vancouver, British Columbia, with her husband Drummond, their 2 cats, Curious and Tenderfoot, and loves spending time with their 4 granddaughters. Welcome, Karen.
Hi, thank you so much, Susie. I'm so happy to be here. This is exciting.
Well, I just have to say congratulations on all your book awards. And it was so fun spending time with you and Drummond in LA for the San Francisco Book Festival. It was just amazing.
It was a blast. It was so much fun having you there celebrating with me, considering that you were a big part of getting the damn book finished.
Well, let's talk about that. I remember when you first came to me, literally you were saying, I have pieces and parts, but I don't know what to do.
Yeah, it was definitely that. It was just like a chunk here, a chunk there, a chunk over there, and meshed all together. And I kind of vomited all over you saying, can you do something with this? Like I couldn't organize it, and I've never written a book. And if you told me in my teens or in my 20s that I was going to write this book, I would have laughed in your face like, well, you obviously don't know me because I don't like writing at all.
Well, what made you just take that leap of faith and decide to contact me and get moving? I mean, what happened in your life that you said, okay, I guess I'm ready to publish?
Well, it was my mom over the previous 5 years saying, that's an amazing story. Did you write that down in terms of the story they tell her what the animals had to say? Oh, did you write that down? Did you get that down? You got to write a book, Karen. These are amazing stories. I'm like, are you nuts, Mom? Did you not go through high school and university with me and like the struggles that I had in education? Like, no, it's not happening. And so with her pleading and my husband Drummond, his like, you've got to get this into a book, Karen. And then the animals started telling me, girl, you got to get it done. This is our voice. We need you to be our actual voice that people can hear and tell our stories and tell that we are sentient beings and that we're not just objects to be owned. So please write the damn book. And it was then I literally felt this soul's pull and calling to actually finish it. So I did.
I love that.
I'm the reluctant author.
Well, sometimes the most reluctant authors are sometimes the best and most successful authors.
Thank you.
Yes. So was there anything that was emotionally challenging or frustrating while you were writing and finishing your book? I know that you worked with an editor, which, I always highly recommend that authors work with an editor, and that, to flush out the bits and pieces that you had and really make it a cohesive book. So what were your challenges?
Oh, it was a lot of old stories I had about myself around writing. I did not do well in school and I struggled. It was a very difficult time for me from elementary through high school and my undergrad and my graduate. It was not easy. Like learning was just not easy for me for numerous reasons. And I had these old programs in my mind. It's like, I can't write. Like this is bringing everything up of all my educational insecurities and not believing in myself. And so I believe in myself in terms of what I can do with the animals and my abilities to channel their voices. that I had no issue with. It's the old stories that I had from teachers, from professors, having to get extra time on my exams, all of that. And so I call it educational trauma because it really was. And I didn't believe that I was smart until I got my first A, which was in my third year at university. So I was a pretty hard marker. So it was all about healing those old stories and limitations. That's what I came up against all the time. And Allie, as you know, she was my editor. She was brilliant. She was brilliant in coaching me through all of that.
Yeah, and I think that's really fascinating too, because I do talk to a lot of creatives who also had struggles in school. I think that kind of goes with the territory when you're a very creative person. And so then you've got to rewrite that script, the programming that you were taught as a young child to say, I am capable of writing. I just need some help.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the thing. I thought that I had to do it all on my own. And then a mutual friend of ours say, Karen, I have an amazing publishing coach, and her name is Susie Schaefer, and I'm going to introduce the two of you because you've got to get this done. So I realized once I had the team in place, then I would be able to do it. You can't just rely on yourself, because that was so overwhelming and I didn't even know where to begin. And it's like, I can't make sense of what the animals are saying in any kind of semblance of form in a book that people would want to even read. I definitely put some sense of humor, my own sense of humor in it, and self-deprecating in a joking way, and myself. And I think when you put your personality into the book, it also helps to create a living book that you get to then breathe life into. You get to create it and it takes its own shape. So that's what I learned working with my team that you so helped me with to put together. So it was definitely a different experience than I've ever had before than doing those creative writing or essay writings or anything like that during school.
Yes. And working with a great editor is the perfect way to hone your voice as a writer, so that when you are making those little sarcastic comments or things like that's part of your writing voice. And so an editor's job is really to bring that out in you. And honestly, I feel like by you doing this whole process, it actually helped you reprogram that mindset and helped you heal any wounding around the fact that you struggled in school and were told that you weren't able to do certain things as far as writing.
Absolutely. And when you have a great editor like Allie, she instilled so much belief in me. I needed that one person to believe, and that was her. I mean, yes, it was you in terms of the bigger scope, but when you get a really good editor who gets to know you over time, she helps me to dig deep, and she helped me and guide me to get to that place where, oh, all of these passages and everything that I'm writing are now interconnecting together, and they're threading together, and they're weaving this incredible story of these animals. And having that guide, such as Allie, she just brought the best out of me, and she got to know my personality, and she was able to accentuate that through the book. It's so important to have a strong team.
Did you have any big aha moments while you were writing and publishing the book?
Yes, actually, the big aha moment was that I realized I'm actually not the one writing this book, it's the animals. So what do I do best? I channel the animals' voices. So I would actually get into an automatic writing place, close my eyes, start typing at 85 words a minute, so that I knew I could do really fast and keep up with what the animals had to say. So they were literally channeling through me, and I just wrote exactly what they were saying, word for word, because I promised them that I would not edit what they had to say, and nor did we edit what they had to say. And sometimes it was a bit repetitive, but I promised them that I would make their voices heard. And the reason they repeated was because they wanted to get those certain concepts imprinted and embedded in people's consciousness. So that was the biggest aha. It's like, oh, right, I'm not alone in writing this. I'm just the one who has to I'm the filler in between their stories and their messages.
Right. You're just the mechanism, the channel.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's it.
that's so fascinating. So, what types of results have you received since you published your book? As far as people's comments, you've got great reviews, by the way. Or comments.
Yeah, some of the comments, well, to my face, the biggest one that I've been getting, and it's so impactful, is that I've had people come to me and say, "Thank you so much for writing the book. I never thought I would get another animal. Your book helped me to understand the animal's experience and process of the death and dying experience and what happens after and what they learn on the other side. And that healed me to be able to get another dog, cat, rabbit, hamster, whatever their beloved, like horse. I had people who've read the book before they've had to let their animal go, and it gave them so much more peace in their heart, knowing that they have made the right decision. I get a lot of clients that come to me and say, I don't know if I made the right decision. I'm carrying all this guilt.
Mm.
And, so that really, those two things, I was able to get another animal, and I never ever thought I was able to. I now have peace around the decision I made, letting my animal go. Thank you so much. And that is what this book was made for, was to give a peace of mind and heart so people can have a better understanding of their animal's purpose in their life, their companionship, the depth of love and service that these animals have in our lives. And they will come back, or they will send another animal to us to continue that journey.
I love that. And aside from people asking you about putting an animal down or the death or contacting their animal once they've passed over, what other types of services do you offer your clients?
Oh, I do healing touch for animals, and I'm a certified practitioner. So I'm able to help any animal, doesn't matter, wildlife or domestic, of all species. If they've got an ailment, if they've some behavioral issues, if they've got some weird thing that they're freaked out about, what I'm able to do is channel that energy and bring it into their being, into their life force, to uplift, balance, get them more connected to the etheric realm, that light force, divine connection of one, to the earth grounding energy that sustains life on this planet. That is a big part of my practice. I am not a substitute for veterinarians whatsoever. I am an add-on service, and I do work with veterinarians, so they value what I have to offer. And it's mostly that, plus the communication of all types of issues, relationship issues with them and their animal, with the humans and their animal, or relationship issues amongst the animals in the household, separation anxiety, not liking riding in the car. Why do they bark at strangers? I mean, there's a whole myriad of reasons why people call to have a communication session with them.
Well, and I think that's so important, because not only does it provide a better environment for the human, but also for the animal, because there's obviously, if the animal's barking a lot, or if they're aggressive, or whatever their behavioral issues are, there's obviously something going on, and it can't always be cured with medicine.
No, absolutely not. I get a lot of animals that come to me who are on gabapentin, and it's for pain or it's for anxiety. And I say, well, let's just see what your animal has to say about anxiety. Why is my dog barking and anxious and sweating when I get home, and I was only away for half an hour to an hour? I don't understand that. So now they're on gabapentin. Well, we have a conversation, and their dog, cat, whatever, is able to say, well, first of all, you just left the house without telling me where you were going, so I don't know if you're safe. Second of all, you didn't even tell me what time you're coming home. You didn't give me any heads up. How am I supposed to know that you're going to be okay? Who do I know that you're with? Like, I don't know who you're with. I can't protect you. And I didn't know when you're coming home. Are you coming home to feed me? Is somebody else going to come home to feed me? Who's going to be spending time with me? So when we have that conversation, usually the humans, when they start saying, okay, Spot, I'll be home at 4 o'clock. I have Jane coming over at 12 to take you out for a walk or to feed you or whatever. Or I'm going to be going to the theater with my partner or with a friend, and I will be back at this such a time. So as long as the animals understand time, that's a big misconception that animals don't understand. They absolutely 100% understand time. They understand days, months, years. They have their own circadian rhythm that works like a clock, an internal clock. So you just have to say, I'm going to be here at 4 o'clock. If you're going to be 15 minutes late, just in your mind's eye, send the message through your heart to your animal, and they'll receive the message, hey, I'm going to be 15 minutes late. And you'll find that your animal is way calmer. Also, leave a dirty shirt by the front door so they can have your scent. That really helps as well.
It's amazing that a 30-second conversation with your animal, just like you would with a child, can change the entire outlook of how that day goes.
Absolutely. It doesn't take much, but this is where the animals want their humans to know is that they are sentient beings with their own needs, preferences, and desires. And it's like, treat us as an equal. You may not be able to hear us. You may not be able to understand what we're saying, but we try to communicate that through our body language. That's a whole other level. That's a whole other communication way. And we have to be paying attention. So, it's the funny thing is that when the dogs say, how would you like it if your kid just walked out the door and you had no idea where they're going, who they're with, when they're going to be back? You're not going to be too happy about it. Well, how do you think we feel? So yeah, just a 30-second conversation of whatever is going on, it will help to calm their nervous systems down. And they understand. It's the biggest thing they want people to know. They understand everything that's going in with you and in the home.
Interesting. I think that's fascinating. Have you personally had any spiritual experiences since you worked with the animals to write and publish this book?
Well, I'm sorry, in what way?
Like, did you have any, I don't know, did any of the animals that you worked with maybe even come back to you and say, good job?
Oh yeah, Trick. Trick is one of the main horses, the main animal he was my soul horse. And he was a friend of mine's horse who had passed a few years ago. And he was pretty important to me in guiding me through this book. And he's come back. He goes, and he just said, thank me. He said, thank you for fulfilling your promise to us. You listened to us, you got our word out. So yeah, I've been getting a lot of thank yous and wow, finally, finally there's something out there that tells people, hey, listen to us, please. A lot of books that are out there around animal communication is about how to communicate. This one isn't about how to communicate. It's about listen on so many levels. Listen to your animals.
Yes, just because we don't or they don't understand necessarily our verbal language doesn't mean that they can't understand our intentions. So I think that's a big part of it, right?
Huge part of it. They do understand words. They understand our intentions more because the intentions carry energy. The energy is is their language, emotions, intentions, energy. That is how they all communicate. And that is what they are taking in as information from us. Words have weight, words have energy, and they understand it.
It makes sense because a lot of people, when they go through a surgery, their animal will want to be very close to them, actually physically touch them
Yes.
as part of the healing process.
Absolutely. They know because they can actually smell chemical changes in our bodies. They know when somebody's going to have an epileptic seizure. They know when somebody's going to have a diabetic instance. They can, and they know when somebody is dying or has cancer. There are changes in the cells that give off a scent that the humans can't tell. And so our cats, our dogs, horses, chickens even, chickens, they can tell, most animals can tell when our body systems are changing. And it's the cellular mechanism and the smell and the scent. And they exist on such a higher level of vibration. They have way more information than you and I will ever have.
That's amazing. Now,
Yeah.
let's talk about intuition, because this is one of our like secret powers that a lot of
Yes.
people aren't tapped into, that they don't understand how to use their intuition. So let's talk about a time that you used your intuition and it came back and it was spot on and you knew that it was the right thing, or a time that maybe you didn't and something happened.
Yeah, the biggest instance I would say of actually saving my life was, this is when I was a teenager and I didn't really understand the depth of my abilities. I just was being me, and I was supposed to fly from Toronto to Florida to visit my grandparents. And it was April during spring break, and it was amazing. We had bought the ticket, and then 2 days later, after we bought the ticket, I told my dad to cancel the ticket or get his money back or something like that. I said, I can't go. I can't tell you why, but I just cannot get on that plane. Well, the plane ended up crashing the
Oh
day
my,
that I was supposed to fly.
oh my gosh.
So, yeah. So from that point, I was like, okay, I am listening to my intuition. Now, sometimes I didn't, and I wish I had. I can't give you a specific, I can't tell you. I mean, I try to forget
Mm.
those things and I don't remember to use my intuition, but it usually backfires in my face.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's anyone who is using their intuition on a day-to-day basis, they know when they get that little nudge and to say, okay, I got to follow it. And that when you don't follow it, it usually leads you down a road of mishaps.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
I think it's such a great mechanism that we all have. We all have it, to listen to our intuition as a guidepost to keep us on the track. That's like, hey, you want an easier way of doing life? Listen to your intuition. When you don't listen to your intuition, it's just taking you off to a whole different pathway. And we got to learn whatever lessons we got to learn to get back onto the path that we were on originally.
so true. So true.
Yeah, it's like it takes us a shortcut, right? Like we
Right.
don't have to learn all those lessons and the hardships just to get back on the same path that we were before, if we just listen to our intuition.
Well, so we've got listen to your intuition, listen to your animals. I think that's really kind of the key message today. Should we pull some cards and see if there's
Oh,
any
yes.
messages?
Oh, this is a nice surprise. Yes, please.
I love to pull 3 cards for our listeners, because this is also us asking for guidance and support. And is there a specific thing that you want to ask, or do we leave it up to universe?
I think we need to leave it up to the universe and see what message it has for me, for us, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, for our listeners.
For our listeners. Yeah.
Let's just see what comes out, especially as it pertains to this conversation about intuition, listening to your animals, how to connect deeper, right? Let's
I love it. Yes.
what comes out for us today. Okay. Okay, the first card out is a 23, so that reduces to a 5. 2 + 3 is 5.
Yes.
The card is peace. Okay.
Mm.
And I love this because peace is all about you connecting with your animals to find that place where they are peaceful and you are peaceful, creating a happy, peaceful home. The image on card is actually a dove with the olive branch.
Oh, yes.
It's flying over an egg. The egg represents creative abilities of bringing things to fruition, the birth of new ideas. And so it's really saying, you know what, get a little bit creative with how you communicate with your animal, because you can have that peaceful environment in your home and offer yourself and your animals peace. But you're going to have to, 5 is change. You're going to have to make some changes.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm getting the nod from universe saying, don't be afraid to reach out to Karen, because obviously you might need some help with it. Just like Karen needed some help with her book. You might need some help in communicating with your animals. So don't be afraid to ask for those resources. The next card out is a 36, which reduces to a 9. And this card is 9 is the end of a cycle. So the card is come to the edge, and the image is she's dancing right to the edge of the cliff there. Lots of red hearts in this. So what this says is that when you take that leap of faith, when you come to the edge, it will end the cycle that you're currently in, and the trauma, the disarray in your home and in your life by embracing the idea of being able to communicate with your animals at a deeper level. I love that. And I think for some people, that's going to be a stretch, because a lot of people may not understand that we actually vibrate in these different dimensions and different levels of energy all the time.
Right.
We just don't necessarily see it because we are taught not to, kind of like you were
That's
taught
right.
that you weren't a good writer. So sometimes that requires us to take that leap of faith and come to the edge in order to
Yes.
change our mindset, change the programming in our heads. Okay, this is really fascinating. So the last card is a 10, which a 1 + 0 reduces to a 1, which means you have already completed the cycle and you're starting a new cycle. And this one is Unfinished Symphony. I love this card. So it's very whimsical. There's music. So there's also something about music affects your animals as well.
Absolutely, it does.
And so when you leave the house by playing music, my sister and brother-in-law, they play animal sounds for Finn when they're gone. They just put it on the YouTube channel on their television. So that and I found myself when I was dog sitting, just sitting in that room because the nature sounds were so incredibly peaceful to me.
We do the exact same thing.
Yes.
It's so peaceful.
It really is. So this is saying use music to create more peace in the environment. Again, another egg, but there's a little whimsical character here on top of it. So it's saying be playful, be creative with this. But really, once you've tapped into what your animal needs, you can end the cycle of disruption in your home and bring in a whole lot of peace for you and the animal. I just think that's beautiful.
That's lovely. I love it, love it, love it. Thank you for those.
Great cards. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. Amazing. So Karen, how can people find you?
Go to www.karenwickerson.com.
KarenWickerson.com. That's pretty simple.
Yep.
And you have on your website, you have the services that you provide and all the other fun things. And let me just tell everybody, yes, you can find Karen's book on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. It's called Listen to Your Animals. Go get this book. It is powerful. I've had many people who have read this book and just said, oh my gosh, I had no idea. I can now start that healing process for creating less disruption in my home and actually being a better human to my animal.
Absolutely. I love it. Yeah.
What final words of wisdom do you have, Karen?
Oh, it's all about listening to your intuition, isn't it? And listening to others who see something in you that you may be denying, and to go forward with that, because we all have gifts to offer to ourselves, to others, to our animals, to those that surround us every day in the community. We have so much to offer, and we need to let that permeate through our community. So when it comes to animals, we've got to just allow them to be and serve us, and think of them as sentient beings, not as objects to be owned or lorded over. But these creatures have a purpose. They have their own soul's purpose. So let them serve you and serve them in the ways that they need as well. So I just want to thank you so much, Susie, for making this book a reality. You have been a huge, amazing asset, friend, coach, and you believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. And I just want to thank you so much. You're awesome.
Well, thank you, Karen, and thanks for being here today. And again, to all the listeners, reach out to Karen if you are struggling with your animal, or if you need someone to come and speak at your book club, if you need someone to come and speak at your organization. Karen does a great job in connecting with the audience, and doing these sessions. Like, she can actually get communication from that person's animals from people in the audience. It's pretty dang powerful. So go find Karen at KarenWickerson.com. And if you found this interesting, I encourage you to join me for the next episode, and be sure to subscribe. Each week, one lucky listener who subscribes and posts a review on Apple Podcasts or iTunes will be entered into a grand prize drawing, a private VIP day with me valued at $25,000. So be sure to subscribe and post a review. Until then, keep on writing so you can finish the damn book. We'll see you next time.
So that's it for today's episode of Finish the Damn Book. Head on over to wherever you listen to podcasts and subscribe to the show. One lucky listener every single week that posts a review on Apple Podcasts or iTunes will win a chance in the grand prize drawing to win a $25,000 value private VIP day with Susie Schaefer herself. Head on over to finishthedamnbookpodcast.com and pick up a free copy of Susie's gift. And join us on the next episode.